What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Wrestlemania 31. A very interesting play, like YouTube play button style logo here for this Wrestlemania. We are here with Wrestlemania 31 of our 39 Wrestlemanias in 39 days. That's right, we are so close to Wrestlemania 40. As I said before, I will be there live. There will be a review. It'll be based on live reactions, not a replay, so I won't have commentary to assist me when I talk about those reactions to WrestleMania 40, but I will be giving them. But of course, right now we're on WrestleMania 31. This took place March 29th, 2015 in Santa Clara, California in Levi Stadium. And we are going to kick things off here. Of course, as before, Rob's notes are on the side there. His are rated A through F. Mine are rated 10 through 0. Let me actually scroll down here so you can see them. And we're going to kick things off with a 7-way WWE Intercontinental Ladder match between Daniel Bryan, who would go on to win, Bad News Barrett, who was the champion coming in, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper, R-Truth, and Stardust. Cody Rhodes as Stardust. We are back to amazing ladder matches. This one was absolutely phenomenal. Not too many cooks, unlike the last Money in the Bank match that had like 10 people in it. That was just overbooked because of how many people there were. This allowed everyone to have a chance to showcase their offense. Even Stardust got to excel in the match, which again, he was basically used as a joke character as he was Stardust. So the fact that he still got to shine was still pretty good. Probably the best Wade Barrett has ever looked, in my opinion. I'm usually not a fan of his, but he looked really damn good in this ladder match. R-Truth had some amazing moments. Of course, Ziggler and Daniel Bryan had a lot of great moments, but this match made me miss Luke Harper. He was so menacing in the match. He was so scary whenever he got a ladder, or whenever he was on the ladder, or whenever he was hitting somebody in general. He was a terrifying presence in this match. And easily the greatest purest talent-wise in the Wyatt family, in my opinion. Phenomenal match, great spots, great finish. I wasn't sure who was going to be the last man standing when this is all said and done. I gave his match an 8 out of 10. It's very hard to give a ladder match an A without like a bona fide iconic spot, and this match didn't have one of those. So I gave this match an 8 out of 10. Rob agrees, gave it a B, so that is where it's going to go, an 8 out of 10. Fantastic match. Next up, we have Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. Another absolute banger of a match on this card. It was phenomenal from start to finish. Seth was healthy. Orton was in his prime. The story was great going in. A present versus future story, whereas, you know, Seth Rollins is the present, Randy Orton is the present, Seth Rollins is the future. Seth was throwing kicks like candy. Orton was snapping body slams like he always does. The outside interference wasn't annoying by the security force that was with Seth Rollins, since he was technically with the Authority at this time. I thought that actually worked with the match and the story they were telling. The near falls were dramatic. The end, of course, the iconic, and in my opinion, the best RKO ever was hit in this match. That's kind of the spot that everyone knows about. I would have given this match an 8 out of 10 until that RKO, but that RKO is so iconic. It's that WrestleMania moment that I feel kind of tips these matches to that A rank, so I gave this match a 9 out of 10. Rob wasn't quite as generous, gave this match a B. I'm not sure if he means to give that a 7 or an 8, so I will assume he meant a 7, because he usually does give out B pluses and stuff like candy, so I'll consider it a 7. I'll give this match an 8, because the 8's in the middle of the 9 and 7, which again is what I was going to give it before that RKO, so it's still a great spot. It's still a great position on this card. It's still a great match. So I think an 8 worked here. Next up, we have Triple H versus Sting. Now, this match is very polarizing. In my opinion, the match is better than the internet tells you it is. I know why the internet doesn't like it. They did not treat Sting very fairly. It was another It was another match that Triple H won that he shouldn't have won. A lot of people are mad that the NWO came out for Sting when Sting specifically said he did not want this match to be WCW versus WWE, and it was anyway. So I can understand why there are people that aren't happy with this match. I can understand if Sting himself is not happy with this match. Was the finish effectively Vince McMahon doing one last fuck you to WCW? 100%. And again, Sting did not want it to be that way, and they did it anyway. That's why NWO came out to help him. So I can understand why there are people that didn't like this match. But the match itself was fun. Triple H had a massive, nasty bruise on his hip because he took a nasty bump, completely bruised his hip. DX and NWO coming out was fun. The handshake was a good sign of the two clearing the slate, if you will. I didn't hate it. Again, I understand why Tony Khan wanted to send Sting out differently. But overall, the match was fun. I enjoyed the bat breaking the sledgehammer, but Triple H still using the head part for the win was a creative decision. I do think it made the finish feel a little flat. But overall, this match is hated for the backstage stuff and less for the actual match, which was two old wrestlers doing the absolute best they could at this stage in their careers. I gave this match a 7 out of 10. I think this match is overhated. And based on Rob giving this match a B, he agrees with me. This match is an overhated match. It doesn't really deserve the hate that it's given. I understand the finish is not great, and I've been very vocal about finishes that I thought were bad, and I've ranked them lower because of that. But I don't really... I can't really say this was a finish that ruined the match for me. Right? Whereas, like, the John Cena versus Bray Wyatt match at WrestleMania 30, I thought the ending kind of hurt the match. Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker, I thought the ending hurt the match. I don't think the ending hurt the match this time, even though this one probably had a much more politically based ending. I still think a 7 is right. I think me and Rob are both on the same mindset here. I would love to hear your opinions because I know how polarizing this match is. Do you think this match is fine as long as you pretend the backstage stuff didn't happen? Or do you think the backstage stuff is simply unforgivable and you can't rate this match positively? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Next up, we have AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bella Twins. This is AJ Lee's last pay-per-view match and Paige's first WrestleMania. The last WrestleMania before the Diva Revolution saves women's wrestling. AJ Lee got hit off the ringside early and kind of just fell asleep outside or something. She's barely in the fucking match for like the first half of it. And then she wakes up and then she's knocked off again. It takes her like over half the match to finally get involved. The Bellas dominate Paige for the first 3 or 4 minutes. The crowd seems to be dead for most of it. She kicked out of Nikki Bella's finisher, the Rack Attack, and there's zero fanfare. No one kicks out of the Rack Attack. No one. Paige kicks out at 2, and there's not even a murmur amongst the crowd. It's like the entire crowd of 70,000 people just didn't realize what the hell was going on. It really hurt this match. AJ Lee finally gets tagged in and has her final WrestleMania moment getting the submission win on Nikki. Her Black Widow submission is lethal looking. I would love to see her back in WWE now, honestly. I would love to see that. Unfortunately, this is the low point on the card. The final match pre-Revolution goes out with a 4 out of 10 whimper. Rob agrees, gives this match a C-. He gives this match a 4 as well, so that's where it's going to go. It's unfortunate, but the Divas Revolution is coming next year, everyone. We're going to be saved soon. Next up, we have, speaking of Bella, we have John Cena. Her ex. We have John Cena versus Rusev, who is the champion coming in for the United States title. The crowd cheering for the foreigner and a foreign nation versus the America angle is shocking. The entire match is about the Russian... Technically he's Bulgarian, but he's on Russia's side here, and they're booing John Cena. You don't see that very often, where they boo the American and cheer the foreigner, but here we are. Cena's fighting for a mid-card title was a choice, but he always wanted to elevate that title to a new level. He was the United States champion damn near more than he was the United States, the WWE heavyweight or the WWE title, so makes sense that he would go for that title. The match itself, pretty middle of the road. I enjoyed Rusev's entrance. I enjoyed Cena's entrance. Well, actually, I didn't really care much for Cena's entrance, but I liked Rusev's entrance. The match was pretty middle of the road, a bit slow. Rusev looked decent. Cena pulled out a 6-move of Doom with that springboard stunner. Was not expecting that. But overall, there wasn't too much here besides ending of another stale pro-nationalism storyline that Vince was obsessed with. I gave this match a 5 out of 10. Rob liked it a little bit more than me. He gave it a 6 out of 10, so that 0.5 rule is going to obviously bump it up to a 6. So not a bad match by any means, just not as good as you would expect one to be for a title match. But then again, it's also John Cena, and John Cena doesn't put on too many bangers, if I'm being honest. And next up, we have Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. As I said when me and Rob reviewed the CM Punk Undertaker match, I feel like this would have been a better match for him to lose the streak to. Not because Bray Wyatt is a better wrestler than CM Punk or Brock Lesnar, and that's not just me saying that because he's passed away. I genuinely feel like the way Bray Wyatt's character was at this point in time, him beating Undertaker and Undertaker retiring here and Undertaker having that true passing of the, even if he didn't retire, but having that true passing of the torch moment to Bray Wyatt, it's hard to say what that could have done for his career. It's hard to say what that could have done for the public perception of Bray Wyatt when he was still with us. Maybe we actually take Bray Wyatt seriously, or maybe we hate him more because he's the one that ends the streak. I feel like a lot of people's issues with Brock Lesnar ending the streak was that no one really was a fan of Brock Lesnar. And you'll see that coming up in the main event. No one's really a fan of Brock Lesnar. His matches are all the same formula. He comes in, he tears up shit, he walks away. There's no entertainment there. And so I truly feel like Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker's streak is why everyone hates that match. Had Bray Wyatt done it, probably wouldn't have been as big of an issue, probably would have done wonders for his career, and it also would have made sense from a story aspect. Bray Wyatt's matches were always character first, story second, wrestling third. This match is no exception. I do think that this match actually was a very good showcase of that. Bray was very sinister looking. The crowds never seemed to be in it at the time. It doesn't really help that Taker is too old to truly sell the offense to any legit degree. He is definitely past his prime in this match. Bray uses expressionism and moves with a purpose, but the action moves are a little bit too slowly for this match to truly reach that pinnacle level that it could have reached. When Bray kicks out of the tombstone, I feel like the match picks up. The crowd seems to wake up a little bit, and all of a sudden this becomes a fantastic contest between the two. The spider by Bray when Taker sits up is an iconic scene where Bray just kind of melts into the floor. If there was someone who should have broken the streak, it was Bray Wyatt. Taker gets back in the win column, a second tombstone, a rough beginning, good middle, great ending. I gave this match a 6 out of 10. Rob disagrees a little bit. He gave this match a 5. Again, the 0.5 rule is going to bump it up to a 6. I think I make a very strong case for this match to be a 6, if not maybe a 7, but I put 6 on here, so that's where I'm going to go with it. Again, I would love to hear your thoughts on that too. Do you think Bray Wyatt would have been a better choice to end the Undertaker streak, given his character? Again, wrestling, not so much, but Undertaker is older now, so it would still be a convincing win. But from a story aspect and a character aspect, I just think he was a better choice. And finally, we have Brock Lesnar, who entered as the champion, versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World title. Seth Rollins cashes in. Seth wins the match. The heist of the century. But as you can tell, we haven't talked to Rob yet. So I think this is the perfect time to discuss one of the most iconic WrestleMania endings in today's match review. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to WrestleMania 31 match review. I am here with Rob. I've just realized that we've recorded 3 of these, and I think this is the first one I've introduced him in, but this is Rob. And we are here with the main event of WrestleMania 31.
I'm cashing in my money in the bank, and I'm taking over this segment.
All right, motherfucker, explain it. What the hell are we watching then?
We're watching Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar with the heist of the century. Continue.
Oh, nice. I get my championship back? Nice. Perfect. So, of course, this is one of many Roman Reigns main events. Crowds are already against Roman from the very beginning. He's getting dominated after right hand that cut open Brock. And the crowd was cheering for every single suplex that he took. Which is ironic, because this is the man that ended Taker's streak. He should be public enemy number 1, yet here they are cheering him like he's the face in this match. They loved Brock. They shouldn't, but they do.
It's because Roman was getting shoved down everyone's
Oh,
throats.
I know why. I'll give Brock and Roman credit, though, because even though it's a slow attack on Roman, it doesn't feel slow. Roman basically is asking for it to get into Brock's head. It's a very great spot. Brock was, basically slapping at him, and Roman's like, come on, bring it on. I think it was a great spot. The only problem is Roman outdoes it every single fucking match, so this is the great job using it once. He lives on it after this. 3 F5s.
I will say his laughing, Roman Reigns laughing and stuff, that was like a good small detail.
Yeah, and now he does it now, but he's a heel, so it makes sense. And it almost felt like he was kind of leaning into the heel a little bit there. 3 F5s, and Roman is still kicking out, and suddenly the crowd is slowly changing allegiances. All of a sudden now the crowd is cheering for Roman and booing Brock, which doesn't make any sense to me. Jesus Christ, fans, you fickle bastards, get it through your heads. Let's go Roman chants start to come out in spots. Roman pushes Brock into the turnbuckle, who slams into the ring post, or the wire attached, or whatever it is. I don't know what he hits, but they're outside of the ring, and he pushes Brock Lesnar into the post, and his head bounces off like the wire that's there, and it just absolutely gashes him. I will give Brock Lesnar credit. This is not the first or last time that Lesnar willingly takes a head bump to bust himself open. You saw it most recently with Cody Rhodes in his rivalry last year. He absolutely took that turnbuckle head on to draw blood. Willingly takes the right hit show right on the faces for the faces come back to make sense. 3 Superman punches, 2 spears, Brock kicks out, and then comes the highlight we all came to see. Seth Rollins runs to the ring, cashes in, stomps Brock, goes for a second. Lesnar grabs him for an F5. Roman spears him. Rollins stops the Roman, wins the title, and flies back up the ramp as champion. And you get this iconic scene to the side of us. I gave this match a 9 out of 10, probably the best Brock and Roman match beside the Survivor Series Last Man Standing match, leading up to an exciting out-of-nowhere finish. No one saw him cashing this Money in the Bank in whatsoever. No one saw this finish coming. And if I'm being honest, it was probably the best Brock and Roman main event up to that point. The match wasn't bad. It probably would have been about a 7 or so had the match ended normally, depending on who won, of course. But the fact that Seth Rollins came in out of nowhere, the setup, the heist, I don't have to deal with Roman or Brock Lesnar winning the championship. 9 out of 10, easily for me. What did you think about this main event?
I thought this main event was pretty good for a Brock Lesnar match.
For a Roman Reigns match? For a Brock and Roman Reigns match?
Yeah, Roman Reigns I felt like would have carried more. Because just Brock Lesnar just like wasn't doing it for me, like at that time he just like wasn't doing it for me. I was tired of all the suplexes. I was tired of the quick ass matches, all that. But then the two of them had pretty good chemistry and they story told very well. And then I don't exactly know what point they got the hey, we're pulling an audible. Seth Rollins is going to cash in, which, I mean, how...
Was that planned from the beginning that he was going to cash in, or was that... Okay.
Oh, from the beginning? No. It was like middle of the match. They called an audible. Seth said it in his... it was when he tore his ACL, and they did that, like, WWE 24/7 recovery documentary, because they were going back on, Seth was reflecting on his cash in and all that, and then it even had Roman Reigns saying, we called an audible, which I don't really understand because he thanks Roman like immediately after. So I don't know what point they called the audible or the ref called the audible, but who knows. But this match was a banger overall.
So was Roman supposed to win this match initially? Oh, okay. And then Roman kind of gave up his moment because he knew he was going to get it again later on. You know, like I've been on record by now, and I will continue to be on record that I'm never impressed by Roman Reigns. I am one of the very few people who isn't 100% crazy about his current reign. I think it has ran its course. I do think he's a great heel, right. And I think the bloodline as a whole is great. Big Dog Roman wasn't it.
Big Dog Roman was not, but Tribal Chief, acknowledge me. Like, that is a whole different dude.
Yeah, until he got little brothered by The Rock. But I really do feel like...
The Rock acknowledges him.
For now. But I just... My thing with Big Dog Roman is... From a physique level, from a moveset level, I feel like Roman Reigns should have been able to get over with the fans. Mm-hmm. If they just didn't force him.
Well, that's the thing. When he was with the Shield, he was easily the most popular. Like he was. I mean, Vince had the biggest fucking boner for him.
Oh, yeah.
But the fans loved him.
And it was one of the weird things where it's like the fans wanted him pushed, and then he got pushed, and they turned on him. And again, this is also, keep in mind, this is the era of WWE where it's not good. The product is not in a good spot at this time. It's not great. That's why AEW was so successful when it came around, because the product was not in a good spot at this time. People were getting tired of Vince McMahon. NXT was starting to come around, and as you've stated before, most people didn't want the NXT talent to get called up because they knew it was going to be bad. Mm-hmm. So we're not in a very good era of WWE, and I'm sure we'll talk about this again in future match reviews because that is a very common topic of discussion for the next 6 or 7 years. So, in the end, I feel like this man should have gotten the bigger push if he could just stay healthy. He kept getting injured. He kept hurting his knees. That's something that we're having an issue with in the modern times. But I really feel like Seth Rollins was the best out of the three of them. I feel like he should have gotten the push more than Roman Reigns did. And quite frankly, I'm so sick and tired of seeing Roman Reigns in the main event. But straddle up, kids, because we're going to have Roman Reigns in many main events coming up. So get used to him. Anything else you would like to add to this match at all?
Nah, I just remember when it happened. We were in college at this time. And I tuned in at the Seth Rollins Randy Orton match. Mm-hmm. And like 5 minutes later is when the best RKO ever was hit. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, damn, that was dope. And then I remember Give Me Sport had like put out an article teasing that Seth Rollins could possibly cash in. Mm-hmm. But because Roman Reigns was getting shoved down everyone's throats, it was highly unlikely. And all of a sudden that happened. And I remember freaking the fuck out in my room. And Zach ended up knocking on the door. And he's like, dude, you good? You were like shaking the friggin' your desk against the wall. Because it was, connected to his room. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, you good? And I was like, yeah, I just got really hyped off of this. I just got so hyped off of this.
Anyway. Again, try to keep these under 10 minutes, so I think we will end it there. Mm-hmm. But we will definitely be back for more with both this gentleman and Roman, I am sure. So until then...
burn it down.
And then go back to me. And welcome back, guys. Again, me and Rob kind of discussed everything here. I gave his match a 9 out of 10. Rob gave his match a B-, gave the cash-in part an A, but he gave the match itself as a whole a B-, so that's going to be a 7. I gave it a 9, so it's going to end up balancing out just like the last one did, to that 8. With that B- specifically, I know he meant a 7. So we're going to give it an 8. And yeah, I think it fits the match perfectly. It was probably the best. This is probably the best or maybe second best Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns match, which in my opinion happens far too fucking often in general. I do think there's some, as I said, I think I mentioned it in the match review there, that their SummerSlam match of 2023 is the best one. Or, was it 2023? Or 2022? Survivor Series. Might have been 2022. Maybe it was 2022. I can't remember. But the last man standing match between the two of them, that one was the best Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match. But this one was definitely probably a second place. And then, of course, like I said, Seth Rollins comes in and kicks this up to an A, in my opinion. But that is where we're going to end it here. Let me go ahead and calculate our average and see where this WrestleMania ranks. This WrestleMania is a 6.71. This might be, and again, there's a lot of WrestleManias to sift through. But this one might actually end up being the highest rated one so far. There's only one stinker and it's a 4, and there's enough H to make up for it. This is the first WrestleMania, I think, that almost is a straight up B WrestleMania. That is fantastic. Of course, once we're all done with all of this, I'll go through and review them all, but this is definitely one of the highest rated ones so far. So congratulations, WrestleMania 31. I hope you didn't enjoy this, because the next few, they're kind of rough. So we will get to those starting tomorrow with WrestleMania 32. Until then, you guys have a fantastic night, and I will see you then. Peace.